Ever hear in Psalm 22, verse 6, when Jesus says, I am a worm and no man? You ever hear that phrase or read that verse and wonder what he's talking about? Well, he's not talking about a regular worm. See, the Hebrew word for worm there is tola. It's not the Hebrew word for worm, rema. Rema is the Hebrew word for worm, meaning just a generic, general term for worm. And that's the most commonly used one. But the word tola, that's a specific kind of worm. So Jesus is saying he's not a regular worm, he's a specific kind of worm. Tola. Well, what specific kind of worm is he talking about that he is? Well, that word tola in Hebrew, it's in your Bibles about 43 times. And the vast majority of those times, there is the word scarlet or crimson. So it's talking about the color scarlet or crimson when it uses the word tola in Hebrew. But there are about four times where it's translated as worm. One of those four times is when Jesus says, I am a worm and no man in Psalm 22, verse 6. One of the other times where he uses the word worm and tola, and it's not translated as scarlet or crimson, and it's actually translated as worm, is Job 25 and verse 6. And check this out. It says, how much less man who is a maggot, which is more of a general term for a worm or crime or crawling creature. And then it says, and the son of man who is a worm. So we know the Son of Man, whenever you see that phrase Son of Man, is talking about Jesus. And here it says, who is a worm? Tola, this crimson or scarlet worm. Well, the crimson worm is a creature that actually tells us about the gospel. If you look up some scientific information on the crimson worm, you will see why Jesus called himself this specific type of scarlet or crimson worm. Now, I'm not going to go into that because this is Let the Bible Speak. And so I'm only pointing you towards the scriptures, but do yourself a favor and study on the crimson worm and see why Jesus said he is a worm and no man. You want to study more about this? Let us know. You can call us directly at 843-553-5157 or email us at letthebiblespeak843 at gmail.com.